One hot afternoon, when the sun sat like fire in the sky, Nena went to the river to fetch water. But as she bent to fill her pot, she heard a sound soft, desperate, almost like a woman in labor. Her heart beat fast, for the river was known to house spirits, and the elders always warned, "The river is a world of its own. Respect it, or it will show you its power." Nena followed the sound, and what she saw froze her legs. There, half hidden among the reeds, lay a mermaid, beautiful yet strange, with long black hair like woven silk, scales shining like the moon, and a heavy belly that spoke of pregnancy. She was gasping, her tail caught in a fisherman's abandoned net. Nena's first thought was to run. Who wouldn't? But something inside her, maybe pity, maybe courage, held her still. The mermaid's eyes met hers, wide and pleading, filled with pain. "Help me," the creature whispered, her voice trembling like distant thunder. "Help me, and the river will never forget you." Nena swallowed hard. The words of her late grandmother echoed in her mind. The river spirits reward kindness but punish betrayal. Choose wisely when the river tests you. With trembling hands, Nena untangled the net. The strands were tough, biting into her fingers, but she worked patiently. Soon the mermaid's tail was free, and the creature let out a sigh of relief that rippled across the water. For a moment, Nena feared the mermaid would drag her into the river depths, but instead the creature touched her arm softly. 7 days from now, come back to this river at sunset. Your kindness will not go unpaid." With that, the mermaid slid back into the water, her glowing tail vanishing into the depths. Nena stood speechless, the water pot forgotten, wondering if what she saw was a dream or reality. The days that followed were filled with unease. Nena went about her chores, but her mind never left the river. She told no one, not even her mother, for who would believe her? In Umoba, people feared mermaids, known locally as mommy water. Some said they were seducers who lured men into the water. Others claimed they blessed those who showed them mercy. But all agreed they were powerful and not to be trifled with. By the third day, whispers of strange happenings at the river spread across the village. Fishermen claimed their nets came up heavy with silverfish that shimmered unnaturally. Women spoke of hearing songs at night, sweet but eerie, floating across the water. Nena kept silent, but her heart told her it was connected to the mermaid she saved. She counted the days carefully, each sunrise bringing her closer to the promised 7th day. Fear and hope wrestled inside her chest like two cocks in a fight. At last, the 7th day arrived. The sky was painted in orange and purple as the sun began to sink. Nena's hands shook as she carried her empty water pot and walked the narrow path to the Oji River. The villagers were indoors preparing for nightfall, so the world was quiet except for the chirping of crickets and the rustle of palm leaves in the wind. When she reached the riverbank, she waited, her eyes fixed on the water's surface. The river was calm, almost too calm, like a giant holding its breath. Suddenly, the water stirred, and out rose the mermaid, even more radiant than before. Her belly was no longer heavy. She had given birth. Cradled in her arms was a tiny baby with scales that glistened like diamonds. The mermaid smiled at Nena, her beauty so sharp it made Nena's eyes water. "You showed mercy when you could have walked away. Tonight, I will return it." She placed the baby on a rock and raised her hands. From the water rose a chest, old yet shining, carried by unseen hands. The mermaid pushed it toward Nena. "Inside lies wealth beyond measure," she said. "But remember, the river gives and the river watches. Use it with a pure heart, or it will turn against you." Nena's hands shook as she opened the chest. Gold, beads, cowries, and cloth finer than any in the village gleamed inside. She gasped, unable to believe her eyes. But before she could thank the mermaid, the creature leaned close and whispered, "Guard this gift well, for jealousy walks on 2 legs and often lives in your own compound." With that, the mermaid and her child slid back into the water, leaving ripples that glowed in the fading light. Nena carried the chest home, her heart racing, wondering what her future now held. By the next morning, Nena's household changed. She and her mother wore fine wrappers, their hut was repaired, and they ate yam with palm oil every day instead of scraping for leftovers. But soon, the village began to notice. Neighbors whispered, "Where did she get such wealth? Who gave her these riches?" Some said she had found hidden treasure. Others muttered she had consorted with spirits. Envy grew like weeds after rainfall. Even suitors who had once ignored her came knocking, bringing gifts of kola nut and palm wine. But Nena refused them, remembering the mermaid's warning. She used her wealth to help widows and orphans, giving food to those in need. Yet no matter how kind she was, envy still sharpened its teeth in the shadows. For in a village, wealth is like smoke. No matter how you hide it, people will smell it. Among those who envied her was her mother's cousin, Obika, a man known for greed. He visited often, pretending to care, but his eyes never left the chest of treasures. One night, he followed Nena to the river, hoping to see where her riches came from. When he returned, he spread lies through the village, saying, "Nena has married a water spirit. Her wealth is cursed. Soon the river will claim her." His words spread like Harmattan fire, and even friends began to fear her. Nena's mother wept, but Nena stood firm. She knew the river never lies, and she had done nothing wrong. Still, Obika's jealousy did not rest. He plotted to steal the chest, thinking wealth would make him master of the village. But the river spirits were watching, just as the mermaid had warned. One dark night, Obika crept into Nena's hut. He lifted the chest, grinning at the gold inside. But as soon as he stepped out, a strong wind rose, howling like 1,000 spirits. The river overflowed its banks, water rushing like an angry army. The villagers woke to screams as Obika was swept toward the river, chest in hand. They tried to save him, but the waters dragged him deep. And he was never seen again. Only his cries echoed, fading into the night. From that day, no one doubted Nena's story again. The villagers treated her with respect, and many came to her for help and blessings. She lived long, her wealth never fading, and her name was remembered for generations as the girl who saved the pregnant mermaid and was rewarded beyond measure. And so, the elders say, kindness is like a seed thrown into the river. It may sink, but one day it will rise as a tree whose shade will cover you. My children, that is the end of the tale. If it touched your heart, if it kept you on the edge of your seat, then do not keep it to yourself. Click the like button, drop a comment to share your thoughts, and subscribe to this channel so that more stories like this will come to you. For as the elders say, a story not shared is a fire left to die.